This is just becoming too much of a problem. There's this disgusting fungal mess all over my house. It's just covering just about every nook and cranny. And look at my storage hall. It's just covered in red fungus. Even up here on all of the chests and everything, it's just everywhere. And I've left this far too long. How do you even get rid of this stuff? I've been doing a bit of research online and I found this amazing product which is perfect for getting rid of disgusting fungal infestations like this one. So I placed an order and let's go and see if it's arrived because I'm pretty sure it should have by now. Let's see. Yep. Fungo. That's the stuff. All right, so I think all I need to do is just go back inside here and choose an area just like here, place it down, and then if I press the button on top to activate it, we should just let it do its thing. Oh wow, this place looks so much better. I need to check out the kitchen. What a difference this has made. The house looks brand new again. I can't believe I left it that long. I'm so glad that I did this. Look at this hallway. Wow, it looks incredible. Just like the day that I built it. You know what? I think I'm going to go and write a review on the internet. Oh no. Oh no. Welcome back everybody to another episode of Minecraft The Journey, and looks like I'm just going to have to keep on top of this problem a little bit more manually than I expected. Hopefully those mushrooms don't cause too much more of a problem. But the house is looking fantastic. It's looking brand new again. I don't think I need this anymore, this can of Wonder Smoke, so I can probably just throw that away. I don't have a rubbish bin. We'll just throw it up there for now, and hopefully it'll disappear on its own. Anyway, in today's episode, we've got a little bit of building to do. If I head out over here to the town square, and if you saw the last episode, you'll see that I built up a new wheat farm. It was based on the same sort of design that I made around the Alpha House area, but I've upgraded it with PISTON. So let me shortcut and head over there, and we'll take a quick look at what we need to do today. In the last episode, we rebuilt this design, which we originally built in the Alpha House for this wheat farm, but I've upgraded it now with the addition of some pistons up the top there. So let's do another harvest and see the farm in action. Oh, I do love that. It's so alive, so much movement going on as we wash all of the crops down. But this farm does take quite a long time to grow to its fullest. But that's okay because I don't need that many seeds and wheat. In fact, the only time I ever need them is when I have to bake something like a cake or bread, which isn't too often, or replant this farm here because all the mobs still get in there and start to destroy all of the farmland in there, and it's just very annoying. So I put these fences around the border here, and I'm not sure if I like that or not. I'm going to have to wait and see because I wanted this to be fairly open and accessible. And unfortunately, I feel like these fences prevent that. But let me know your thoughts, because it would save me a ton of time having to go in here and constantly replant this farm. Anyway, in today's episode, we have got a little bit of work to do over here. On this side of the farm is where we're going to be building a sugarcane farm. And I don't know what the design is going to be yet, but I'm sure that it'll involve our new friend, the piston, because that was pretty much the whole point of building one here in the first place. I think that it'll run along the edge here like this from end to end and be automatically harvested. Yes, automatically harvested. So let me get planning and designing and figure out how I want this farm to work. What exactly are these cows doing? Is there some kind of town meeting that I didn't know about? Anyway, let me figure out what design I want to have for the sugarcane farm, and then I can get started on building it. Well, I think I've got a setup here that I'm relatively happy with. I've got 2 layers of pistons here because I want to make sure that any sugarcane that's grown up to 3 high like this one, we push both forward into what will be a water stream right here to gather up all of the drops and put them down here into the system. Now, the redstone in the back is not too complicated, but there are a few quirks which I think are related to early redstone mechanics. The first is that I need to have all repeaters along the back here. Well, actually, technically I don't. I could actually put one repeater and then one redstone wire and then one repeater and then one redstone wire. But because repeaters introduce a little bit of a delay, even when they're not set with a delay, that means that the pistons will all fire at different times. And I don't want that, so I'll have to reset it all like this. Also, I can't run a single wire all the way along the back here because it just won't power any of the pistons. I don't know why, that's just how it is. This wire also goes up here to the top where I've had to add another repeater because of the length of the redstone wire. I can probably fix that later. But then a redstone wire across the top here will power all of these pistons on the top, and I have no idea why it works up here, but it doesn't work down here. It's just, I don't know. I really don't know. So look, the sun's going down, so let's do a quick harvest here, and we'll see it in action. There we go. We saw that the top pistons have a little bit of a delay on them, so what I'm going to do, let me just sleep, and then I'll adjust the timings on those pistons. What I'm going to do is add an extra tick of delay on each of these pistons here, and in doing that, it should adjust the timings perfectly so that both rows of pistons come out together. Yeah, that's looking much better. So hopefully that will just make the farm a little bit less lossy. It is possible that some of the sugarcane might fall through the piston heads as they're moving. I'm not sure. But, you know, it seems to be 99% efficient, and that's really all we need. Oh, this is just too much. I literally just finished replanting this thing. That's it. I'm putting in the rest of the fences. Look at these two sneaky little clowns. What do they want? I've been out here waiting for these crops to grow, and and they take a long time to grow. Let me see if I can get up here somehow. There's sort of no real convenient way. Just, nah, I'm not going to make it. Or maybe I could just, I don't know. There's got to be a way. Anyway, look at that. I have finished the 4 modules of the sugarcane farm, and I think it's looking pretty nice. Still can't, the size of these blocks is so annoying because they stick out for the full block size and you can't jump up on them easily. It is possible. Okay, we're getting all distracted now. All kinds of distracted. I have finished the sugarcane farm and it is looking pretty nice. Let me just go around here and we'll do our initial harvest. Now, I've hooked this up to a little control panel over here. It's called the Harvest-O-Matico. And on the left-hand side, we have the wheat harvest, and on the right-hand side, we have the sugarcane harvest. And I've also installed this door because mobs still find their way in, annoyingly. And the reason I've hooked up the 2 farms to separate levers is because this one grows a lot faster than this one. So, you know, I might want to do multiple harvests a day of the sugarcane one and just leave the wheat one or whatever. So let's go and do our harvest of the sugarcane farm. Now, before I do, I just also want to point out a couple of things. Let's get up nice and close, because it's been a little while since I recorded the last clip, and I've made a few modifications. As you can see in the back there, I've now put dark green wool blocks behind the sugarcane just to give it a nicer looking aesthetic, and all of the pistons are now sticky pistons. The redstone in there is a little bit more tidy now, and it just moves from module to module all the way up. Because the control panel is over here, it's a bit difficult to see, but we'll do it anyway. Okay, are we ready? Boom! You saw them all fire there. Uh-oh. Looks like I have a little bug up here, and I think that's probably got to do with me accidentally cutting off some of the redstone when I put the ceiling on. Everything else looks fine. Don't worry, I'll just get in there and fix that. It should be no problem. Hello up there. It's me. I'm down here. I thought I'd give you a better view of the farm in action this time, and I have fixed it now so it is working properly. It's fully grown again, so let me go and pull that lever and we'll see the farm in action. Okay, ready to go? And, oh, look at that. It's a thing of beauty. And of course we can just disable it again and pull all of those blocks back in. Now this thing grows really quickly, so like I said before, I can do as many harvests per day as I really want to, and I'm very happy with the end result. Pistons, pistons, pistons. We've done so much with the piston already. I can't believe how many episodes have been dedicated to this one block. But we're not even done yet. And it's no surprise, with such a new and interesting mechanic added to the game, it's no surprise that it's brought with it a whole bunch of issues and bugs and things to exploit. And if you remember, we've already done quite a few things. We created this 3-block long bed here with half a bed block up this side by using the sticky piston, by pushing and then retracting the bed, and it split in two and left this half a block behind. And we can even sleep in it. And I have to say, this is way more comfy because I have so much more leg room. It's incredible. But what else have we done with the piston so far? Well, I might remind you that we also explored the bud powering mechanic down here, where you're able to power a piston if it's at a certain angle to another redstone power source, and then you can remove all of that and the piston will remain in a powered state. Oh yeah, it's really weird. And we also created this little floor effect down here by piston pushing ice blocks and then powering and unpowering these pistons, and it somehow deleted the piston head. And we were left with this. And I really like this look. But don't forget, that's not all. Because in the last episode, we built this incredible machine here, which allows us to transfer the properties of flowing water into a wall block or a slab block by just placing a wall block here and a redstone torch on top. And then if we hop up here and we want to create a wall block that is pink, we can just put some water here and the machine does the rest, and it transfers the metadata of that flowing water that was right here in this block. And just as the piston pushes up the wall block, that metadata gets transferred into it, making it pink. And this is such an amazing mechanic. We also discovered that you can do the same with the slabs, but I wonder what other types of blocks you can do this with. There's one block in the game that I've wanted to make for a long time, and that is a 6-sided piston. And if you've never seen one of these before, then you may be wondering, a 6-sided piston? But pistons already have 6 sides. Well, it's not exactly a piston like this. You see, if I extend these two pistons, you'll see that they push out their piston head. But we get this texture on this side, and then we get the back of the piston on this side. But it's possible to make a cube with this texture or this texture on all 6 sides. Just like these two over here, which I have made earlier. Look at these, the sticky piston and the regular piston. Now, if we take a close look at these, you can see that each side is made up of the sticky piston texture or the regular piston texture. And the cool thing about these blocks is that nothing seems to break them. You can just do whatever you want, make block updates, whatever you like, and if you break them, you get a piston back. And I'm going to show you just how easy it is to make these things. Now, if you remember a few episodes back, we created this mysterious piston here, which is currently extended because it thinks it's being powered. But as you can see, there's no power around it anywhere at all, not even underneath it. So technically, this piston isn't actually being powered. And that has to do with block updates. Now, if you remember how this works, I'll just create a quick little circuit right here and demonstrate how this works. And if I pop up here, what I need to do is place a redstone torch here and some redstone dust here. So at the moment, the torch is powering this redstone dust. Now, if I were to place a piston in this space right here at diagonals to this block here, there'll be some sort of block update magic going on, which means that this piston, while it normally shouldn't receive power, thinks that it does. So what happens when I place a piston is it extends like that. And because we're not updating any blocks around it, when we break this and break this, the piston remains in this state, thinking that it's still powered. So what happens if we combine this with placing a piston? All right, let's take this step by step. If I place a block here and then put a piston in front of it, if I apply a power source to the top side of this block here, you'll see that the piston now receives power and it's extended. However, if I place a block here and then place another block at diagonals to it right here, now if I put a piston underneath and then apply power in the same way, you'll see that the piston doesn't extend. It's almost like this block here is preventing the signal from making its way to the piston. However, if I place a block in front of the piston, a block update takes place and the piston thinks, I'm actually supposed to be powered. So it receives power from this torch. Now, let's see what happens if I do the same thing, but this time with a piston instead of a wool block. All right, let's recreate the machine. So we need a block here and then another block here. Let's remove that block. We needed to then put a piston in the front, then apply power. Notice how nothing's extended. Now we can choose to either use a sticky piston or a regular piston. In this case, let's just use a regular piston. So what we saw last time is that the piston extended and then pushed the wool block out by one block. And so in theory, this should also just push the piston block forward by one block. But it doesn't. Something rather wonderful happens. Let's see this in action. It's created a 6-sided piston block. Now this block has a block metadata value of 7. I'm not really sure why 7 creates this. Maybe one of you more technical people in the comments will know exactly what's going on here to create this block. But I think that this is fantastic, and we can now just remove all of this apparatus because we no longer need it. And look at that. We've got ourselves a stable 6-sided piston block. Now, what can we do with this thing? Well, it turns out not much. It's pretty much a purely decorative block. You can't power it, you can't really do anything with it, and if you break it, you just get a piston back. So I thought I'd come back into the house and see if we can find a space where we can use that block creatively, because I do like, as you know, to use all of these weird and wonderful Minecraft glitches to decorate the inside of the beta house. And I was thinking these blocks here. Now I place these blocks here as kind of like ends, I suppose, ends to this little fence going around here to kind of give it a bit more of a feature. So I think I'll just get rid of this. And what we need to do now is recreate the contraption. So I need one block to push, then one block to extend, then a piston. So the piston has to go right here. So let's place this, this, and this. Then we need to place a piston right here like so. Then provide it with this power. And now we need to place a piston. And look at that. 6-sided piston right there. Get rid of all of these things that we no longer need. And just like that, we've got a very different looking end to this fence here. For the time being, I haven't thought of too many ideas. We've obviously replaced these 2 blocks here at either end of this little fence. I've also added one here in the bookshelf so that it gives it a little bit of variation in the texture here. What else have I done? And I've just replaced a few other blocks here and there, like out here I've created a little table. And I've just modified the barbecue out here and placed these 2 piston head 6-sided blocks on either end, replacing the slabs that we had there before. But I'm not really sure about this one. It doesn't really look right to me. I've just been experimenting. But I do need more inspiration and more ideas about how we can incorporate this block more into the rest of our builds. And there are a few things that I do know work. For example, if I build one of these right here quickly, let's place a power source here, actually the piston first, and then the power source. And if I place a piston here. Now, if I do another one of these right above this one, so it'd have to be like so. I don't know. For some reason, my brain didn't work very well there. Okay, yes, just like this. Place another piston right above it, then place the power source, and then another piston right there. We are able to actually create more than one of these together like this. It's really not a problem. So, you can see here the potential for having a 1 block wide pillar like we used over here or something like that. So I'm really looking forward to trying out a few different ideas like this. Yeah, look at that. We've got a little bench along here, and these 6-sided piston heads, they just fit right in. They look like they were made to be here. And you might just walk past and think, oh yeah, that looks nice, but not even stop and think about what it actually is. So, there's a nice little way of using the block as a bit of an accent piece. But look at this area, really coming together. I did put the fences in. Unfortunately, the farm animals still make their way in, but I think the fences are now making it less easy for them to get through my defenses and get into this area, because I did just replant this a couple of days ago. And yep, unfortunately, it needs replanting again, but the rest of it seems to be intact. Almost. Oh, Almost. I can never win with this one, can I? Anyway, maybe there are some fixes to that coming up in the next few versions. This still doesn't look right. It looks all unbalanced. I've still got some bits and pieces to work on here with the final aesthetics of this little area, but it is coming along nicely, and I am glad that we've filled out this area a little bit more now, and there's more to see and do in this general area. So before we go, let's just do a couple of quick farm-related activities. First, we want the sugarcane farm. Off it goes. Loads and loads of sugarcane to harvest, and next we want to do the wheat. And there it goes to releasing all of the water down the farm. Boy, this one's nice, but it takes a long time to complete. Anyway, that'll be the end of today's episode. If you enjoyed yourself, then please make sure to let me know in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Join my Patreon if you want to support me. There are links to all of that in the description down below. And of course, before I go, I want to say thank you for watching, and an extra special thank you to my amazing patrons who support me. The support is very much appreciated. And I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, this has been bugmancx. You've been watching Minecraft The Journey. Bye-bye.